I'm just to find out that my wife had done it behind my back.
No, we not really love to be married for visa.
B was telling the truth. It was like a marriage for a visa.
I was diagnosed with cancer, hence we don't talk to them neighbours no more.
What do you love about John?
I don't care what story they come out with, my buffalo's dead, grandma's sick, house is burnt down, no.
Friend never broke friend heart.
Even though we're still together, I just can't trust her around money. I mean, obviously there's two phases, you're in love and you love the person. We're not in love no more. And yeah, I did the usual story, fell in love with a bar girl back then.
We're in the weeds. You're going to have to say something nice about John.
Difficult time it was when I first found out. I wanted to pack up and go, but I've already invested too much.
Somebody think we fight each other.
She was lending money to the family and she didn't ask me. And her brother, unfortunately, had a huge drug problem. One time I opened this, and the minute I put my hand in, a snake bit me.
All right, so John, thanks for inviting me here today. I guess we'll start at the beginning. Where you're from originally and what were you doing before you came to Thailand?
I'm from Hull in the UK. As I'm an aircraft engineer, and I started to work in different countries around the world. What brought me to Thailand was holidays back in the late 90s. And then after splitting up with a girlfriend after 10 years, I decided to come and live here from 2006.
When you say you're an aircraft engineer, what did that involve? Who did you work for?
I worked for most of the companies in Europe, and the last 8 years was with Etihad in Abu Dhabi. I was their chief engineer, looking after the Airbus 320 fleet, and yeah.
So what did you actually have to do for your job?
Not a lot actually, but I got well paid as well. I hope my ex-boss is watching this as well. There you go.
But I'm assuming it takes a lot of qualification to do it.
Yeah, I started on aircraft when I was 16, did an apprenticeship, and then I did a thing what you call a maintenance licence, where I became a licensed engineer, which part of that job entailed me certifying the aircraft fit for flight. So I would do the routine checks, walk around, make sure everything's fine, then I'd release the aircraft to service, which does come with quite a lot of responsibility actually. And it's actually one of the only jobs in the world where you can actually go to prison for what they call it, corporate manslaughter.
Oh, really? So, like negligence?
Negligence. If an aircraft went down and your name's on the paper and it was something you overlooked, then you could end up with a lot of trouble.
Big responsibility then,
Yeah.
And then so your Thailand story, you had been travelling before you'd retired here. You're 61 now, right?
Yeah.
You'd actually been travelling with a girlfriend from the UK, was it? Or?
Yeah, I had an English girlfriend from about 1996, and every year we came to Thailand for holidays, and we both loved the place. We tended to go to Phi Phi Island, and very lucky I was that in 97 the Asian stock market collapsed. And we was getting in the region to 100 baht to the pound, and like I couldn't believe it, that how cheap everything was. Getting two drinks for 50 pence, and fell in love with the place. After the split in 2005, I had a friend that was living out here, and he could see that I was going through a difficult time emotionally. So why the hell he brought me to Pattaya, I don't know, because I don't think that helps at all. Just made it worse. And yeah, I did the usual story, fell in love with a bar girl back then. Bought my first house, lost my first house, all the stories that go with that, bar girls, this, that, the others. I was warned about it and what to do, so I did actually draw up a prenuptial agreement. So I didn't lose everything, but under Thai law, if you're married, it's 50-50. And like I got half the house back and she got half, so it wasn't as bad as some of the stories you hear. And let's be honest, in the UK, if you get 50% back, you've done very well, because I know friends that have gone through divorces in the UK and ended up in debt and still paying for it to this day, you know. So I learned the hard way.
But you made a good decision there to have a prenuptial agreement, and this was back in the late 90s, was it?
2006 is when I bought the first house, and we split up in 2010.
Okay. And was there a particular reason why the relationship broke down? Was it a cultural difference, or was it just lifestyle differences? Or?
Lifestyle difference, as in I was drinking too much, because I just broke up with a girl that for 10 years, and I just couldn't stop drinking. I'd give up work. At that point, I was on contract work, so I took 6 months out, but I went on a 6-month bender. And like, of course, no relationship will stand for that. And then, because I was on the rebound when I met her, and I was emotionally all over the place, once I'd got through all that hurt, I then sat back and thought, what have I done? I've bought a house, I've bought this, I've done that. And of course, your friends can't tell you anything at that time because you don't believe it, and you can't see it yourself because you're too messed up. So And then after about 4 years, I realised that I'd made a mistake. And then, lo and behold, I did it again. But this time it's not a mistake. I've been with her now 16 years and 11 years married. So
what's your wife called, and where did you guys meet?
Wife's name is Bee. Bee had her own restaurant in Breakup Hill on Soy 5 in Pattaya.
Yeah.
It's between John TM and Pattaya. It's Breakup Hill. There's a big Buddha on the top. She had her own restaurant down there, and I came off the beach mid-afternoon a bit drunk. I had my dog with me at the time, and my dog ran into the restaurant and started peeing all over the plants and bushes and barking at all the customers. And then she come out shouting and screaming at me, "Get your effing dog out of here, what are you doing?" So I ran off, and then the next day I thought, I better go back and apologise. So I went back without the dog this time, and 16 years later, here we are.
It's love at first sight, very odd love at first sight.
Yeah.
How do you remember meeting John? How was it for you? Do you remember that day?
Yeah, I remember that day. Is that he go to the beach with short, and no t-shirt on it, and have many tattoo on his body, and he walk with a pig bull, and after that sit and drink and drunk too much, pee everywhere, and after that it's not pay.
The dog pee everywhere, not me. The dog.
He also pee on you. I remember that when he sit and the Petty pee on you, he just do like this. Yeah, correct, right? And then he drink and not pay. I think he live on the street or something like that. I give him 200 baht to get motorbike back home.
She give me money.
Yeah, to take motorbike back home, is go. And after that, take him up to the hill, is what do you call it, Pattaya road. Yes, and to get motorbike taxi. Another day, long time, he come and looking for me. He not see me because I go Bali.
Oh, okay.
I take come back from Bali for holiday, and I also have overstay in Bali. And then he come back with different man, and I don't know him. Mm-hmm. He drive the Fortuner, and he come back from Pekoff with your friend.
Very nice clothes.
Yeah, and
she still
then
told me to
No, and I just said, I remember you're a gypsy foreigner, you pay me the bill, And after that, he not go away after that day.
Yeah.
Now we together for 16 years.
16 years, yeah.
Well, what happened then? So did you fall in love with him or what?
No, we not really love to be married for visa. That's true.
You're going to have to put something nice in here. We're in the weeds. You're going to have to say something nice about John. What do you love about John?
I don't know. He good.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, he good. John is a good guy,
He's not good because you're getting no more money if you don't.
No, he's John a good guy. He have a good heart. He helping people.
Yeah.
Even he just just give thing, it's something he can give, but he not just spoil people, but he good. He have a good heart.
Good heart, yeah.
Yeah, and also we have a lot of good friends, together and blah blah blah. But
And what about you, John? What do you love about your wife?
I'm taking the Fifth Amendment on that one. No comment on that one.
But we still have future
I don't know.
together.
I think
have future together.
16 years together speaks for itself, and you can't live with, and can't live without. That's about it. When you get to this amount of time together, it's like your best friend's there all the time,
Yeah.
Even though relationships do change, things happen, providing you can forgive each other and get over the hardships.
Yeah.
And then that's a good, healthy relationship that should come out in the end, or something along them lines,
There you go. So just before we get back to today's interview, I would like to mention our long-term partners on this channel. It's Surfshark VPN. I know that many of my subscribers, particularly in the UK, have already used my code. They are facing a number of draconian rules that invade people's privacy and restrict their freedom of speech. A VPN is a very useful tool to circumvent those rules. But it's not just accessing restricted content. Surfshark VPN also has a number of other very useful features, such as an email scanner, which is going to let you know if there are any phishing attacks or scams hiding within your email. Or something that I'm using a lot more now is parental controls. So I can put these controls on my son's iPad via Surfshark VPN and make sure he's not getting exposed to any illicit content. Surfshark VPN can be used across all of your devices, so you only have to sign up one time and you can use it on your iPhone, your iPad, your Mac, your PC. Surfshark will give me an offer to give to you. It's going to get you 4 months extra. You can simply use code word NakedGuru at checkout, download the app, or go to www.surfshark.com/nakedguru. Those links are below for you in the pinned comment and the description. And what's more is it's a money back guarantee, so if it doesn't work out for you for whatever reason, you get your money back. But at one point then, you decided to move out here.
Yeah.
Where exactly are we here?
We're in the province of Nakhon Ratchasima, and it's a small town or village called Bulai. It's where my wife comes from here. And then she actually came with me travelling around the world while I was working. We did 2 years in Philippines together, 2 years Vietnam, 8 years in Abu Dhabi. And then during that time, we was planning to retire and where we was going to live. And then I ended up buying a salon, and I ended up buying this farm here. And I know a lot of subscribers will be saying, "Oh, it's all in your wife's name." I said, "That's fair enough." And also I drew up Usufruct.
Okay.
Usufruct and all the shunuks I have.
So you said you bought the salon as well. What was the thinking behind that, buying the salon? Is your wife a hairdresser as well?
She's not a hairdresser, but she went back to school. I put her into Konken, the academy there, where she learnt to do hairdressing and also eyebrow tattoos. And then it was part of my 5-year plan before I retired to buy a car, buy a motorbike, buy somewhere to live. So when I did come to retirement, I had no outgoings, no rent to pay, no car payments. So it'd make life a lot simpler and a lot cheaper as well. This farm here became an afterthought. It was up for a cheap price. We have 21 rye here. And when we first came here, there was not a lot here. All these trees you see, I've planted them all except for the mango trees. And then I ended up building this house here. And then later on, about 2 years ago, I built the second one there, like a guest room. And then I built myself what I call the club lounge, where I've got a snooker table and etc. inside. So plenty of things to do for retirement.
And how much did you pay per rye back then?
Back then, about 5 years for the salon, we paid an outright price of 1.4 million baht, which is about 35 English, I think. The farm here, we have 21 rye, and it was 140,000 per rye. That coming at 2.8 million. And then to build these houses, this cost me 600,000 with the materials, everything in.
You actually don't stay on the farm full time, right?
No.
So what is the situation? Why does it work for you?
I think after being with someone 16 years, it's nice to not be so close all the time. And of course, my wife's getting a little bit older, 1 or 2 medical issues. And her sleeping routine is completely out of this world. Sometimes she goes to bed at 7 p.m, wakes up at 2 in the morning to have breakfast. And if you are sharing the same room, you just can't do that because you've been woken up every night at 2 or 3 in the morning. So we decided that she can stay at the farm and I'll stay at the salon. And it seems to work a hell of a lot better. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're still together now, because I think 2 years ago, I think we might have killed each other.
Well, it is the case sometimes as well. I think what a lot of people don't understand, if you're not going to work 9 to 5 as well, usually a couple is separate from the working time, and then you see each other, in the evenings or the weekend. When you're retired or living a very free lifestyle, you are together 24/7, right?
Correct. Yeah, and that's one of the biggest adjustments I found coming to retire. You do have to have a plan in place, and we've got plenty to do. I've got the dogs and I've got this. I've got fish ponds down there to go fishing. I'm always doing a project on the farm. A lot of people do struggle in retirement because of not having anything to do. And I think if you go down to Pattaya and look at a lot of the bars in the afternoon, where you'll see every bar's 10 or 15 older men in there, retirees with nothing else to do but drink. And I don't think that's a good way also, even though I do enjoy beer, but not to sit from 9 o'clock in the morning till the sun goes down every day type of thing, which a lot of expats are doing. Even if you don't want to do it, there's always somebody ringing up saying, "Oh, come for a drink, I've just got here, I'm on holiday, I'm here for 2 weeks," and that cycle goes on through the year. You just end up practically killing yourself, with the alcohol. So.
And have you, in doing all of this, have you hit any speed bumps, any particular difficulties, any things that you thought might set you back or might actually stop the mission to be here?
Well, it actually did happen when my wife first came back. She came back here on her own 2 years before I decided to retire. She was looking after certain things. But what happened to her is that the whole family started asking for money. And then, unfortunately, behind my back, which it's all sorted now, she was lending money to the family and she didn't ask me. Now that debt went up to 2 million baht that she'd lent out to the family. Luckily I managed to get most of it back, and from that 2 million I think I'm owed about £5,000, so I can live with that 5,000. But the 50,000 that was out at that point was really affecting my health and my mental situation as well, especially when you've trusted somebody all that time. And then family pressure, and as you know, when you marry a Thai, you marry the family. And as she always said, yeah, but it isn't just your money, it's family money. I said, no, never say that to me. I said, because I'm not having that at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, all the problem was resolved and 95% of it all came back. So, but that was very difficult at that time, just to find out that my wife had done it behind my back. So, yeah.
And I guess sometimes from their point of view, living in a Thai family as well, what they think they're doing is actually a good thing, right? So it's a weird moral dilemma.
She actually, I mean, the Thais have this thing called merit. So the more they can give to people, the more merit they get. So she thinks by taking money and giving it to help somebody, she was doing a really good thing. But I had to sit and explain, why do you want to give all the money away? Then we've got nothing. Then we have to live on rice and chilies or whatever. We have nothing to eat. I said, why would you do that? But again, it goes down to the culture of the Thai people, where they don't really think about tomorrow too much. It's all about today. Difficult time it was when I first found out. I wanted to pack up and go, but I've already invested too much. I didn't want to go through the divorce again, so I found a way to fix it, and we fixed it, and we're still together. So,
did that involve, a family meeting, or just did you ask her to sort it out?
She sorted most of it out, but during the sorting out phase, I put everything to my name. I put usufruct on all the shunuks, all the vehicles, the motorbikes, the cars, they're all in my name. So there's no temptation whatsoever. She can't get no money no more. Where because I did trust her, everything, she had access to everything. We even had a joint bank account, and like, maybe to do that with a Thai person is crazy, but
well, when you trust somebody, you're married to somebody.
Of course.
Is in every marriage there has to be an element of trust, or it isn't a marriage.
Yeah. I mean, she'd never took. I used to have a lot of money in the house sometimes when I was in Abu Dhabi, maybe $1,000 or $2,000. She never touched a penny, and it was like this for over 12 years. But when she came back here, the family started knocking on the door, and her brother unfortunately had a huge drug problem. And he was always asking for 200 baht, 300 baht, which that's nothing. But then the family came. The farm was the shunuk for the farm, the shunuk for the house was with the bank. They was paying interest. I wanted to get the shunuk back out of the bank. And my wife felt obliged to help her father. So I can't really blame her. I do understand the culture. But my fault for maybe giving her so much access to our assets. Mm-hmm. But I didn't expect it. It blindsided me.
Yeah.
And since then, there's no trust anymore. Even though we're still together, I just can't trust her around money because she doesn't understand the concept of money. She would still take the money to go give to someone to help them. I mean, you could say that's a good thing. She's got a big heart, but maybe she has got a big heart, but I'd like to have a big bank account. And I don't care about if I've got a big heart or not, but I don't want it to keep emptying my account to give it to everybody.
The difference is also that you've put the energy in to get that energy out. You've worked for the money, of course. And do you think there's a pressure from the family as well? Like, you've got Farang husband, you're jet setting around, you must be. There's a perception that you're multi-millionaires, maybe,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
give us a little bit.
I had a boat in Abu Dhabi. It was worth nearly $250,000. Mm-hmm. And on a weekend, we'd sail around on my boat, go fishing, do this. And of course, when my wife was putting that on Facebook, all the friends were seeing it. And of course, this big image came out, which wasn't really an image. It was our lifestyle that we had at the time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, and I understand why they came knocking, but like, everybody came knocking, brothers, sisters, cousins, long-lost aunties, grandmothers. It was just too much. It was too much, So, yeah.
Do you think now this is resolved? There's nobody coming knocking. Everybody knows
Know the
what's
answer.
what now, yeah?
Yeah, they know the answer before they get here.
Yeah.
That the answer's always no. I don't care what story they come out with. My buffalo's dead, grandma's sick, house is burnt down. No.
Yeah.
That's the answer. No.
Yeah.
Do not come asking me for money.
Not in there.
Me and John, we not cheat each other.
Yeah.
You know, no, that is not good. You have to trust somebody you stay with. You know. Yeah.
So 16 years together, there is trust
Yeah.
in a relationship.
We like more, not just as husband and wife.
Yeah.
We like more. It's kind of like a best friend. Friend never broke friend heart. And I'm trust him. Him trust me. I'm trust him because he make. You know, I can see. You know.
Even you had the problems in the past, you managed to come through those problems and work them out as a couple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have no problem with yeah, we talk sometimes too loud, you know. Somebody think we fight each other, but it's not. Yeah, correct, huh? Shout each other is, you know, but we just talk, just to try to explain.
Very, very rare we'll go to bed on a fight.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I think that's also
Yeah.
very important
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
relationship.
yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So sometimes you will have an argument, but it's to get something out, and then you go to bed. You know.
Sometimes there's communication issues, even though B does speak practically 100% English. But sometimes culture differences, frustration that she might not be able to explain something like, or I misinterpret something, and then I explode, she explodes, it gets hotter and hotter and hotter, but 1 hour later we just sat back like
Not
this,
even 1
finished,
hour.
maybe 1 minute. And normally what I get is a phone call and it'll say, what you're having for dinner tonight, or what you're having for lunch.
Are you happy, B? You happy that you met John, though?
Yes,
For the things that you've done together in your life, the places that you've been?
yes, yeah, I'm happy because it's just me and John. We just not kind of like we have future together or something like that, you know. But I don't know how to explain. It's good. It's correct.
It seems to me like a strong friendship
Yep.
and a partnership yes.
Yes.
Doesn't look like a traditional marriage, though.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, we did get married for a visa, but it wasn't a visa for Thailand. It was to make life a lot more easier for B to come and live in Abu Dhabi. And I said, shall we get married? Because I'll get this piece of paper. So, yeah, all right then, okay. So we went to the register office in Bangkok, and there was only me and her there, signed the paper, and off we went. It was basically
So B was telling the truth. It was like a marriage for a visa in her mind.
marriage for a visa, but not as subscribers may look at it thinking, I want the visa to stay in Thailand.
It's
It
the other way.
was the other way. So
Yeah,
B
yeah.
could, so it was a lot easier and convenient for me to get B citizenship in Abu Dhabi. And the only way you can get that is to be married. So that's why we said, let's get married.
You see, what I see from the outside coming in, I see a couple that's very like loud with each other and very like playfully argumentative, but deep down, I think you really do love each other.
I'll take the Fifth Amendment on that one. No comment.
Well, you said that before, but I think there's something that must keep people together beyond,
Yeah, of course. I mean,
16 years. There's something that keeps you together. It can't just be your
Yeah.
arrangement.
I mean, obviously, there's two phases. You're in love and you love the person. We're not in love no more because that's at the very beginning when you fall in love. But of course, I still love B. And
Yeah, we
hate to
still
see
love
anything
each other.
happen. Hate to see anything happen to her and all the rest of it, So
Yeah.
Just worry about. I don't want him to drive motorbike. Just worry about have accident or something like that. It's not mean that, just something like this. You
Yeah.
know, take care of each other. Understand each other. But it's not cheating. But it's not. It's not that it's he have me and after that he have another girlfriend and I have another
61.
boyfriend.
I might look 21,
Hey, hello,
but
somebody
the
80
bloody
and
thing
still
doesn't
have
really work
girlfriend.
anymore.
Yeah, work if you want to give it. Well, get something else. Hey, hello.
And in, to foreigners that are maybe not completely loaded, multi-millionaires that have a lot of expendable cash, like what would your advice be on lending money locally?
Don't do it.
In any case.
In any case. For one, you have no legal ground to ever get that money back. if you lend money, you're supposed to have a company. This is what the Thai government have done now in the last 2 years. They've seen how much devastation these illegal money lenders have actually caused, and now they've clamped down on the illegal money lenders, and that's why you've got a lot of these finance companies that now have actually opened up officially. So for you as a foreigner or a Falang to go lend money to somebody expecting to get it back, you have no leg to stand on and you will not get it back. The best thing you could do, if they want a few $100s, just give them it to us as a gift and forget about it. And if they come for you for any more than that, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, tell them to jog on, because you're not going to get that back as well.
And how do you feel in the community now? Do you feel like you've integrated quite well into this community? Do you know people, the neighbours and whatnot, or do you just tend to keep yourself to yourself?
50-50. I've integrated to a certain point with the Salon. Everybody knows there's not too many foreigners in this village. There's only about half a dozen. There's a few locals that I'd go drinking with now and again, but generally speaking I've got all this, so I'm quite happy to sit here in the afternoon, play with the dogs, go fishing, which we can look at that later, the fish ponds. So I'm pretty well set up for a retirement of relaxation. And just on a side note, I was diagnosed with cancer back in 2018, where I was doing chemo, radiation, and I had a big operation on my neck here. I had neck and throat cancer, and fortunately for me, on the 5th of October 2019 I got the all clear, so I'm now 7 years in remission. And that also prompted me to take a different outlook on life and also to retire early. And I've never smoked in my life. I used to drink, maybe a bit too much when I was younger, but I did ask that question to one of my doctors, and the doctor said for you to get throat cancer through drink, you'd have a liver transplant first. That's the amount you'd have to do. But fortunately I took a new treatment called immunotherapy, which has been around a while, where it trains your body to recognise cancer cells. And I did this treatment and it worked and it cleared it, and I'm 7 years now remission. But I was stage 4 cancer. And stage 4, it doesn't really get any worse than that. Well, there is. The next one's terminal and you're gone.
So do you think that was a wake-up call for you? Like any particular way you look differently at life now after that?
Absolutely. That's why I was thinking, how much have I got in the bank? Can I retire financially? Will I be okay? And I retired when I was 54, and luckily I had a decent job. We had plenty of savings, you could say, and I just do drawdown now. I just take money every month from the bank. I worked it out right up until 67, where I'll get my state pension, which will help also. But as I've mentioned before, once you get everything in place for your retirement, if you get yourself a condominium, you get yourself a car and a motorbike already set up before your retirement. I know that doesn't suit everybody, but if you're with a Thai wife now and you're thinking about retiring, get everything in place first, protect yourself, like I've just mentioned.
Yeah, you did it well.
Yeah.
Twice.
And our outgoings, basically, I spend around 30,000 baht per month, and that's running 2 cars and electric on here and electric at the salon. But the electric here is about £15 a month, and the electric at the salon this time of the year is about £20 a month. But if you're a guy coming out on his own, don't fall in love. Rent a place for the first year or two, see if you like it, move around, maybe take 6 months in Chiang Mai, 6 months Phuket, and get a feel for the place, and you'll do a lot better if you do it that way. Just don't fall in love. Not in the first week anyway.
That's definitely harder for those that come looking for love, though, isn't it? If they're choosing Thailand to come looking for love, which it seems to be more and more of a epidemic these days, I don't know, like more and more men are coming to specifically, not because they want to be in the place, but they're looking for love, right? What would you say is the best way to dodge the bullet and find the right one? Or even with the right one, you can have problems, though, as you've described today, right?
Try not to do that. Try to come and look around. You'll find a girlfriend eventually, but try not to get one out of a bar. Not saying that all bar girls are bad, because I've seen a lot of my friends have got relationships 10, 20 years ongoing with bar girls, so you can't just categorise all. But just be mindful. Be mindful that in their cultures a lot to do with money, a lot to do with showing face, and a lot of times the Thai girl wants to show she has a foreign boyfriend, and then she looks high in the village or something like this. But just be mindful. Try to keep it in the back of your mind. Does she actually love me, or does she love my bank account? Mm-hmm. And it's only you that can answer that question.
One technique I talked about before is just never divulge that you have any money. Just pretend you're absolutely broke, like you ain't got nothing but your love to give. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then play that out for about 2 years, just to stress test it. Yeah. Right. Well, have a little walk around your place now. Then and you can show us what you've done. And these days, how much time will you actually spend here and not living in your like man cave in the salon?
My routine tends to be that I'll stay at the salon till about lunchtime, and then about 1 or 2 o'clock I come up here this time of year because it's nice and cool. Yeah. And I'll just sit, do a potter about in the garden, water the grass, take care of my plants, have a couple of beers in the afternoon, that type of thing, and just generally take it easy and do bugger all, basically.
Well, actually not quite, because you've actually sent me a few videos of what you do out here. Oh, yes. And you've got a project going down. This is coal production, right?
Yeah, charcoal. Yeah.
Charcoal production.
So again, we got one of the trees got hit by lightning not so long back, and it killed it. So I had a couple of lads down a few weeks ago, and they chopped it all up for me. And I started to make charcoal a few years ago, so I got the local guy showed me how to do it. And I've actually just made a batch yesterday, but this is ready to be opened. But
the actual area you have here with the houses, this is probably not more than 2 rye you've got fenced off, right? So what do you do with all the other 20 odd rye?
All the rest of it is for rice, and I've got about 4, I'd say maybe 3 rye fish ponds. 10 rye is okay, it's manageable, but I don't really do a great deal. It tends to be the tractormen and the combine harvesters. But rice has been very difficult the last 3 years. 3 years ago, I got nearly 100 bags of rice. Last year, I got 52 bags because it was a real bad year. This year's been really bad as well, but I was very, very lucky, and because I've got a lot of water down there, I pumped all the water out of the ponds to keep the rice going. And this year I made 72 bags. Now to break even, I need 50 bags. And 50 bags will cover the cost, and it'll also give us rice to eat for the year, and also a few bags to give away to family and friends and stuff like that.
So your profit margin on it is negligible. It's just really for personal use. And
for instance, that 100 bags, 50 break even, sell 50, but that 50 will, depending on the price of rice, will give me maybe £2,000. So £2,000 for a year.
Spread that across the year, yeah.
Again, I mean, I've just sold all my cows just the last 4 to 6 weeks. I mean, the price of beef has gone down, which Thais will always tell you it's down when you're trying to sell it, but when you buy it, the price goes up automatically. So unfortunately, I sold 4 cows for 35,000 baht, and I pay my farmhand 35,000 baht per year. So there's just no money at all, unless you do it yourself. And there's no way I want to be here every day looking after my cows and running around. And
does he live here, your farmhand, or?
Yes.
So he gets a place to live, and he's not full time. He just does a couple hours a day, doesn't he?
For what I was paying him, it was £2.50 a day, and all he had to do was let the cows out, let the cows back in, fill up the water, and give them straw every evening. And in the drier months, he would go cut green grass for them.
So it's a few odd jobs, and he's got a place to live.
He has a place to live. He has free water, free electric, and all the fish he can catch. Because I believe now I've got no fish left in my fish pond.
So here you're thinking a bit of a homestead here. You're saying if something happened to you,
if something happened to me, the wife could make money on the homestead. So it's just basically a big room.
Yep.
We had here just bed, TV, closet, a bit like a hotel room, and I had ensuite. It smells of smoke in here from the charcoal. And an ensuite toilet and bathroom.
Not bad for 10 grand, is it? And there's 2 of these, 2 units. Yeah.
Next door is exactly the same.
Yeah. Do you often have guests around here, or not so much?
Not so much at the moment, but I'm expecting to have a lot as soon as the swimming pool's finished.
Oh, is this going to be a pool here?
This will be the swimming pool.
Are you self-building this? Is self-design? You're not getting a company in to do it, I'm assuming?
If you get a company to come and build this swimming pool, it'll be 300,000 baht. I can do it myself for 75,000.
What's your technique?
I just get a price for the labour, and then I do all the ordering myself, get all the material, everything done.
All right, so you got a nice big space here. You got yourself a snooker table. You got your air conditioning in here.
Play the old darts.
Like an English pub in here.
Yeah.
And so when friends visit, this is where you'd hang out and.
Then, like I said, once I get the swimming pool done, which I want it about more than halfway across the entrance there, and about 1.5 meters deep.
Yeah.
And again, a friend of mine in Callison has just had one built, and the whole price came to 75,000 baht because he did it himself.
Really? Your friend has already worked it out. He's probably made a lot of mistakes along the way now.
Well, that's why I wanted him to do his first. So he's actually just finished his pool about a week ago.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting a list off him where to order the parts, which company are good, which company are not so good.
Give it another 2 months first. Just to...
Yeah. Just wait for the leaks to appear. So I don't buy one of them. It started leaking. So.
Yeah.
But he got quotes of around $250,000, and he did it himself for 75,000. So.
How many foot is that? Big is
It's 9 meters, be about 4 meters.
Right. Well, once you've done it, then I'll copy you. I'll do one.
I'll buy you not to do it.
Then I'll have two case studies. You got yourself. Is this a Suzuki, right?
Suzuki
Carry.
Yeah.
And this is what, your wife's car, or?
Yeah, wife's car.
And how much you pay for this one?
We got it off Facebook Marketplace, 249,000 baht.
Good price now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was only, I believe, 2 years old, and it only had about 10,000 kilometres when we bought it.
Workhorse as well.
Yeah. So it's a great little car, basic as hell. No radio inside or anything like that.
No aircon?
Has aircon.
Oh, it does, yeah.
But there's no gimmicks inside, no fancy electronics or all that type of thing. It's just a basic little
Get you from A to
workhorse.
B. And is this your rice field here?
No.
No, this is the Neighbours, yeah?
Neighbours. And hence, like what I was saying, we built this fence. We didn't ask them for no money. When all the mud went down there, she came along with a macro, dug all the mud away, and put it over there where you can see the road. But from what I'm led to believe, that you're not allowed to dig. It has to be 1 metre off your perimeter, off your border. But they came along and dug right on the border, and now I'm losing quite a lot of the electric posts that we can see down there, which we'll walk down there, and all the fence has become loose from what the neighbour did. So hence we don't talk to them neighbours no more.
And they're not family either because you moved in here, right? So some of your electrical posts now are falling down, and that takes out the whole electric, right?
Yeah, you can see in the distance there, you can see them starting to lean over.
Yeah.
And they're getting worse per year as the rain keeps coming down. It gets worse and worse.
Did you have to bring it up with leader of the village, or
Yeah, we did.
What did the leader of the village say?
They said they have to push the mud back. They have to put it back, but they've not done it yet.
Right.
So.
And then all of this, then they're actually using for rice. I'm assuming they use the soil to raise parts of their land.
Yeah, what they did is they dug it all out again. You can see all down here, and they built that road just there on the other side of their land.
Do you think this is like an honest mistake, or you think they actually knew?
The chief came down and he actually explained that you're not supposed to dig this close to somebody's border, but she just carried on.
And here you've got your ponds. So what was your initial thinking with these? Water supply to the whole area?
Water supply to the for the rice fields, and also I like fishing. So I've got my little bench over there where I sit and do a little bit of fishing, but since I've got my farmhand here, who is Thai, I don't believe there's any fish left in here now. I think he's ate them all.
And how did you find your farmhand then?
He's my wife's cousin.
Okay.
Wife's cousin, so.
Does he have a missus and anybody? It's just him?
No, just him.
Yeah.
He's a very good guy. He not only took care of the cows for us, he took care of everything. There's 6 ponds here that I have a solar cell running over in the corner, which we're going to look at, and it keeps them topped up all year. So when we do need extra water for the rice, we can pump. So hence this year I did very well with my rice, where most of Thailand didn't do very well, because I was able to pump hell of a lot of water.
And what are you doing with the coconuts and the mangoes off these? You're not selling them, I assume, for just you?
These are all our mangoes all over there. We have about 75 mango trees, but we eat a few, and then after a week I'm sick of mango. They get too much of it. But people do offer to come for a reduced price per kilo to come and pick them and take them away.
Yeah.
So last year there was too much mango, so the price was very low. But generally speaking, if somebody wants it, they'll just come and help themselves and take it. But and just say 5 baht per kilo rather than 20 baht at the market or something like that.
Yeah. So here at the end of the ponds, you've got the solar set up here, and this helps top up the water, which is then used in the rice field as well, right?
Yeah.
And now with this overall farm project now, have you have any more plans for development, any more plans for the future, or do you think you're done?
Just a swimming pool.
Just a swimming pool?
Just a swimming pool.
Yeah.
But I know in a few more years I might get bored and start thinking about something else.
You've definitely got a lot of land for it, John.
Let me turn this on. One time I opened this, and the minute I put my hand in, a snake bit me.
Really?
But luckily it wasn't a poisonous one, so I'm a bit careful now when I put my hand in there. It jumped out and got me.
Was it hiding in that side?
It was hiding right up in that top corner there.
Really?
But luckily I think it was just a oriental tree snake, I think it's called.
Like a little green one?
Yeah.
Okay. That's real time. There's always something jumping out at you or flying in your face, isn't there?
When a snake comes out at you, automatically you think you're going to die. So there's a solar cell pumping the water.
Pumping the water. I noticed the water is a bit of a turquoise blue colour here.
That could be me.
What did you do with it?
I put some sea blue in it.
Oh, you did?
I tend to put it in the other one, and then it filters through, and it just makes it a little bit
aesthetically pleasing.
Yes, that's the word I'm looking for. And it keeps your algae down as well. So I've been told.
Because it blocks the sunlight from going into the water, and then the algae's not building up as much. What about for your fish seeing though? In your fishing, does it not affect your fishing?
No, apparently it doesn't affect fish. Maybe some subscribers might say different, but from what I've been told, and my fish have had no problem.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, then. So I think that's it then, John. Yeah. Thanks a lot for the invite round here today and sharing your story. I think it's a very interesting story. Congratulations on beating the cancer and being in remission.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a lot of lessons here in this vlog for people to learn something they might have heard before, something they may be quite surprised about. And so thanks a lot. Cheers.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. Thanks for coming.